Hello everybody, thank you so much for clicking on this video. We are going to paint these cute little snowdrop flowers, and there's a reason why I chose these, or this composition today. I have not posted in a minute, actually, you guys, and there's reasons for that. I wanted to put out something that I was calling 30 Days of Flowers. I was going to paint one flower every day for 30 days and post it for you guys to follow, so you'd have these easy, painterly, whimsical flowers in your artistic toolkit that you could pull out and use anytime in your composition. And I do still plan on doing that, but what happened was I tried so hard to get this plan in such a short I didn't allow myself enough time. I tried so hard to get this plan in such a short period of time that I hit a wall. I burned myself out. I didn't want to paint, I didn't want to stitch, I didn't want to draw, I didn't want to have anything to do with this art corner for any reason whatsoever. And it's not a good feeling when you're an artist when something like that happens. So what I like to do when that does happen is paint things that are simple and easy, that doesn't cause my brain any kind of overload. And this little snowdrop flower is one of them. They're very easy. They're so easy. After I show you this, you're going to be like, oh my god, really? So very simple. And sometimes I like to sit down and just color swatch. It takes no brain power at all. You just sit down and play with your colors. That's something easy and fun for you to do if you're bored or you're like me, you're burnt out. I just thought I would share that with you guys. But anyway, we're going to paint these snowdrops. I have blue cyan, primary yellow, cad orange, yellow green, raw umber, titanium white. I didn't know what colors I wanted to put out. I know what colors I used in this, but I may not stick to this. I don't know. And then on the other end of my palette, I have the short that I just put out about creating your own black. So I have some blacks over here. I'm going to show you a way to mix green that I just love, 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 you guys. It's super easy, super fun, and super pretty. So we're going to go ahead and start this. Let me put this over here. Get my rag. Okay, and get my chair situated. Okay, so I am going to use, if I can find it. Oh, I love painting with these little angled brushes. This is just a cheap brush pack that I get from Walmart for like $4 or $5. But you guys, these brushes are the best. I love these little brushes, or these brush packs. These are actually long handled, but I love them. And I found this pack. Let's see, where's the rest of them? Right here. This pack, I think the filbert's missing. I must have used the filbert that was in it, the smaller filbert, but for $4.88. These were $4.88 online at Walmart. And these are these brushes right here. I have used these brushes. This is the same brush. I have used these brushes for probably 6 years. I've had these, and they have held up very well, you guys. $4.88, $4.88 a pack. You cannot beat that. And I've had these for 6 years. I don't know where the rest of them are over there, across the room from me in another jar, but this is one out of it. But this is, yeah, 6 years. I just want to show you guys that you don't have to buy expensive tools to make art. Okay. So, for a beginner, I did want to tell you this also. For a beginner, if I had to recommend brushes, I would recommend my favorite. That if I could go back and talk to beginning artist Angie, I would say get your angles, your angle brushes, and some filberts, and maybe a liner or two, the little script liner things. And that's what I would begin with. But that's just me. That's the ones I like to use. And I think I am going to use this filbert right here to begin with. Okay, so the first thing I like to do though is draw a box. Anytime I'm making these little flower studies or practicing or whatever, I always put them in a box because it helps me visualize the composition better. And I wish this is a little too far in the middle for me, so I'm probably going to bring it over either way for us today. That's a little too much in the middle, but anyway, I like to make, I don't know why, I like putting them in these boxes. Like I said, it makes the composition simpler for me. I don't know. So we're going to make our box. Paper off. Let me make sure you guys can see. Hold on. I'll pull this over just a hair. I have this sitting on a, raised up a little bit on a book. Okay. Alright, so, and I have clean jellies and water. Alright, so, make our box that we're going to paint. And I never measure this out. I just make a box, you guys. If I come out of it a little bit, I come out of it a little bit. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is start on the background. And I'm going to go with this cool black that I made earlier for a short that I put out. And it's just black out of the tube and blue cyan. That's so we're going to use this on black. And I don't have, oh, matte medium. I love using matte medium. I use it like a glazing liquid. Like maybe you would use Golden's glazing liquid. I do have some of that, but for some reason I enjoy the matte medium better. I don't know what it is. So I am going to use a little bit of that. That's going to help my paint glide across my page. If you don't have any of that, use water. It's just as good. I just like using the matte medium. It's my preference. Like I said, I'm going to start with this cool black. And it's actually going to be a gray because I'm going to put some more white in it. And this is what we're going to begin with. And then I'm just going to start scribbling in. Because my flower composition is going to be on the warm side with the yellows and maybe some red in it. I'm not sure yet, but definitely with the yellows. I'm going to do a cool black. That way, cool colors recede. It goes, I don't know why I'm looking at the camera because you cannot see me. I'm looking up at this camera right now talking. Cool colors recede. So, and warm colors come forward. So if you use a cool background behind your warm colored focal point, it's going to appear as if your focal point is coming up out of that background instead of sitting on top of it. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay, so since my flowers are more on the warm side than anything, like I said, I'm going to use this cool color background to start with. And this isn't the only color we're putting in, but this is what I'm going to start with. And by all means, you guys, use your own colors. If you don't want to use black, don't. Use your greens, your purples, your blues, whatever you want to use. Do not have to do everything I'm doing. That's how you're going to find your artistic voice, is by, let me put some more blue in this, is by changing things up, right? Change things up. You're going to follow all these tutorials to the letter. Change some colors, change the composition. If somebody's got 2 flowers, you add another one and do 3. Like, change things up. That's how you're going to figure out what you like to do and step out on your own. Okay. But now there's nothing wrong with following to the letter. I did for many years. I followed these tutorials on here, on YouTube, Instagram, Skillshare, Domestica. You know, I did it all. Okay. Now we're going to pop some green in here somewhere. And I think this is where I'm going to show you the green that I like. Okay, so we're going to take whatever yellow you have. And I'm going to use black without anything mixed in it. It's just a dab of black, straight black. And mix it in this yellow. And this is going to make a nice green color. I love this olive green that it creates. And you can put some white in it to lighten it up. But anyway, we're going to start over here with this olive green. Let me get back where I was at. Okay. Start popping that in. Just hints of it wherever you want it to be. I'm staying along the edge right now. My focal point's going to be right here in this area somewhere, so kind of leaving that white just a minute. Just add some white to it and pop that in. And see, there's no rhyme or reason in any of this. I'm just doing what I feel like doing. Intuitive art, I think is what they call it. So yeah, where I think the color look good is where I'm putting it. Okay, so I've already ran off script with this reference that we had. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know I do not like painting for reference. I tend to get tight with it. I don't like it. I'll use reference for value to show me where my value should be if I have a reference of whatever I'm painting, and maybe composition placement, but other than that, that's pretty much all I use a reference for. Okay, so now I'm going to switch to my angle and we're going to start working on this flower. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw the stem first. And the stem is just shaped just like a candy cane. You're going to come up and hook. Okay? So, back into this green. Add some white. Put a matte medium in there. Yellow. Get that one on black. It doesn't take much black to overpower, so. But it's okay. If you overpower it, just redo. Start over. You can lighten it right back up. Like that. Okay, and I'm gonna make this angle. This is why I like an angle. this chiseled side right here, and I keep looking at this camera. Let me make sure that I'm in focus for you guys. Make sure you can see what I'm doing. I'm holding everything. Okay. So this chiseled side, you want to make sure that it is as sharp as you can get it. So what I do is when I'm mixing my paint on my palette, and I know I'm about to need this chiseled end, I will go this way, and I will go that way. I'll go this way, and I'll go that way. And that's going to bring that chisel to a point. Okay. So we're going to take that, and this is how, and then I take it, hold it at the end down here, not that far down, but I hold it more toward this end than toward, like, holding it like a pencil. I'll hold it loosely, and I'll drag. And I start at the bottom. You can start wherever you want to. I start at the bottom and work my way and go up. And then I twist and turn. I twist as I'm bringing it around. Just twist. Okay, and then we have a little one coming off here. We have one coming off that way. So I'll come back. I got some more. I'll come back this way. Back up. And go ahead. I'm probably going to make this one shorter. A little bit under that one. And then we have one's coming up this way. That. Okay? Alright, and that's where our stem we're going to be. Now let's get some brush. And I'm going to show you how to make how I make the snowdrop leaves. Down here on the bottom before we put it in paint. I'm going to show you how I do it. And I use this angled brush to do it with. Okay. So the snowdrop leaves droop. So we're going to do this drooping petal. This drooping petal is what we're going for. Okay. I'm going to use a color that I know you guys can see. So we're going to do an orange one instead of white. Snowdrops are normally white, but for the purpose of you being able to see what I'm doing, I'm going to use orange and white. Make this light color. Okay. So this is how I do it. Very simple, you guys. You want to basically just set your brush down at an angle and let the brush make the petal for you. Okay? A little bit of pressure. Then the same thing on the side. A little bit of pressure. And that's going to give you your snowdrop petals. But that's how I do it. You guys may have another way to do it. If you have another way of doing it, let me know in the comments. That's how I do it. And then we'll put the center in. We'll put the center in right here. And that's the petals. That's the petal shape. I'm just laying the brush down and letting it do its thing. Alright, so we're going to do that up here in our composition book. We're going to use white. Actually, we're going to use white, but it's not going to be completely white. No petal on any flower, I don't believe, is completely white. There's some shading and value going on somewhere in there. And for this, we're going to use just a tad bit of yellow. Not much, just enough to color it. Just enough to pop off a little bit of color in it, okay? I'm going to shake my brush from side to side and get that chisel in there. Okay? I'm going to come over here. We're going to do exactly what we did here. I lay the brush down. And I make sure that the tip, this tip, is up against the stem. Coming off the stem. I wonder if I can do it with my left hand. Let's see. I think you guys can see better the way I have the camera angled. Right here. I'm going to paint around this. I'm going to do some negative painting in a minute. So, put it up against the stem. That's my other petal. And then down here, I'm going to lay it down. This is a smaller one, so I'm not going to mash as hard. I'm just going to touch the paper. I hope I'm explaining this right, you guys. I'm just going to touch the paper. And I did this one backwards, so hold on. Let me go in and fix this. Touch the paper. Alright, and then this one over here, it's more like a bud. So I'm just gonna kind of, what's the box here? That's too much. Hold on. Which we'll fix this, but let me dab some of that out of there. That's too much paint. That one's just a bud. Okay. So now, while that's drying, I'll let this dry, these petals dry. Let's paint around a little bit. And I'm going to use, I guess I'm going to go in, oh, there's some orange in that, that's okay. I'm going to go in with a super light blue on the edge, just right here. Bring it up. Now, when I get closer to the petals, the actual flower, and right up in this, like right around this area, I'm going to come in with a super dark color. That way my flowers will pop. And my flowers are going to be on the light warm side, so I always use my darkest value to butt up against that flower to make it even brighter. Okay. I'll put this pretty blue on the edge. And then we're going to make a dark value. Let's do my blue cyan and my raw umber. And I didn't wash my brush. I left the blue that was on there. I'm going to make this really dark gray blue color. Almost black, but not quite. So it's not quite black. This is what we're going to go in with. Okay? We're going to go around the stem. And don't worry if you go over the stem, it's fine. We're going to paint the stem back in anyway. We'll go over the stem several times, so do not fret if you hit that stem. It is okay. Around the petal. And you see, I'm just moving my brush around. Like, just going around my petals, around my petal. Get right here. I'm not trying to be precious about this. I'm holding it further back, and I'm just moving my paintbrush. I'm just letting the brush do the work. Just keep in mind, stay loose, breathe, take some deep breaths. I know how easy it is to start piddling around with it, and before you know it, you have it so tight that it's verging on realistic. I get it. I know. So we take some deep breaths, and we're going to stay loose. Realistic is not my jam. I don't have the patience for it, and my stuff looks nowhere near as good if I'm trying to paint realism. It just doesn't. And it's probably because I don't have the technique for it. I know it is, but I don't like it anyway, so I've never bothered to try to grow my technique for it. And I just paint it over my stem, but that's okay. It's alright. An example of painting over the stem. Okay, I'll go down and just spread out like this. Okay, and this is just our first pass. We're going to paint over these petals, over these stems several times. Okay, we're going to end up giving this petal shadow, dimension value, and all of the things. So do not panic. Okay, do not panic. Trust the process, go with the flow, and just let it happen. Okay, I feel like I need some green up in here, so I want this little bright one. I'm going to take some of this yellow, green yellow, put a little bit of white in it, a little bit of matte medium to thin it out, because I want it to be a little bit transparent. I just want like a glow from it. And I use my fingers a lot, you guys, when I paint. I do a lot of smudging and smearing, especially with backgrounds. Okay. Just play with this while I'm waiting on that to dry. Use some of these greens. Make it a little opaque, put some white in there, and then we're gonna hit some spots we just did. And we're gonna end up going over this again, so don't worry. If you don't like it, it's okay. We're gonna end up going over it anyway. Now, sometimes I have a spot that I really like I really like this, so I'll probably try to stay away from that, doing anything else to this part right here, and here. I'm gonna have to paint my stem back in. But, I mean, if I do, it's okay. If I go over, it's fine. And then I think I'm going to take some of this straight out and just hit some areas but I like this yellow green. I mean, it gives it a little something. I don't know. It gives it a little something that it didn't have before. And in these negative spaces where there's nothing, I'll pop this green in there. Okay. And then toward the end, at the very end, we'll take some white. Or I guess it's gonna be white. I don't know yet. It could be black. We'll take a color. We're gonna take a hue, which is a fancy word for color. We're gonna take a color and we're gonna make some marks using our very thin liner brush. Just some movement marks, just to give the picture movement. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's try it. Yeah, good enough. Okay. And clean the brush. Make sure my brush is clean because I'm about to go in on that stem and petal. I don't want any leftover paint. Okay. Now we're going to go in on the stem. Pull my yellow out again. Dab a black. Like that green that I like. You can use any green you want to. Does not matter. You do not have to use what I'm using. I'm going to lighten it up. Good bit. Okay. And go over. So this pass. I'm going to use broken lines for this, okay? I'm not going to do one solid line like when we drew it out initially, just for placement. I'm going to break my line up. I need to get this one back in there so I can forget about it. Okay. And then I'm going to go back in at some point and hit it with some dark spots. I mean, it's just a dance. It's a back and forth. Alright, basically what this is. Okay. And I'm sorry if the slosh can bother some of you guys, but I vigorously, when I do rinse my brush, I rinse my brush, okay? Alright, so now we're going to work on the petal again, and we're basically going to do the same thing we did. We're going to thicken it up a little bit. Make it a little more opaque than what it was. Oh, that, that here. Okay. Add some yellow in there. And then after this pass, we'll start adding a little bit of shadow into them. We're going to build them. Remember, acrylic paint is all about layers and building. Layers, building, and value. There you go. Alright, so I've got my chisel end going on here. And we're going to lay it down. Pressure, pressure, and then we hit this again, and this one's tiny pressure, tiny pressure, tiny pressure. Okay, and then a little bit of dot up here, not much, just a little bit of color right here, so don't forget it was there. Okay, and we're gonna let that dry. Now we're going to work on putting some leaves or something that suggests leaves, okay? Not actually leaves. And for this, I'm going to go back into my yellow again because I love this olive green. My yellow and black. Load my brush up. I'm going to get some matte medium for this because I think I want a little bit transparent, not very opaque for now, just yet. We're building layers, okay? And for the snowdrop leaf, we are going to hold our brush like this. Alright. We're going to come up and just flick. And then I might come up off the other side a little bit above where we just did that one. Come up, hit my petal, come up, flick. Okay? And go over my petal and go behind my petal. Now you can do what you want to with yours. You want to go over your petal and overlap? That is fine. Things look great overlapped. I just went behind mine. Alright. Now I'm going to work on my stem again. I'm going to add some darkness into it this time. Go back into my black. And my yellow. Let's see, let's put some of this blue into this. Just to see what we come up with. That's pretty. I like that. Sorry you guys hear that. That's my dog over here. I don't even know what she's doing. So I won't bring it. She's trying to get comfortable. Okay. That's a pretty color. Dark brown color, okay. And I'm gonna do the same thing. Up my stem. Just in this broken line way. To see, I noticed in a few of my last videos that my hand was in the way, so I'm trying to keep that from happening. Okay, I'm not messing this down here. So we can layer up this like leafy grass at the bottom. I think what I'll do is maybe strokes on those leaves that just come in. Okay. Rinse. I'm gonna do something in the back here. Just it's a push and pull, push and pull. You work on your focal point, you work on your back. This is how I like to do it. I work on my focal point, I work on my background, work on my focal point, and I just do a push and pull back and forth until I like what I have. I feel like when I go from one thing to the next, I bounce around my picture. It gives it more of a togetherness than doing all of the background. I'm done with that, and then doing the focal point. Because then I feel like you have a background with a focal point on top. I want it all to kind of feel like it comes together. If that makes any sense. I hope that makes sense to you guys. I'm just laying this light color in. We're going to layer over it. I'm going to kind of fade it into that dark we just put in. Just a little bit more of my leaf. That's okay. We'll just pop it back later. Okay. Rinse. I tell that my petals are still not dry. That's a lot of paint on there. Okay, so let's work on the middle. Let's pop our middle of our flowers in. So let's do, I have two different middles here. I have this cat orange middle and I have this yellow, and I like the yellow better, so we're going to do the yellow. So let's take this yellow, primary yellow, and a little dab of raw umber just to dirty it up. That was too much. Hold on. I just want a dingy yellow color for that middle. I don't want it super, super bright. Put some white in it. Yeah, that's pretty good right there. Okay. And I have my chisel tip again. What we're going to do is when I do this middle, I turn my brush upside down so that my tip is here on the bottom and the chisel is on the top. Like I feel like this is the normal way to hold it, so I'm holding it upside down. And I go in with just this tip. I just kind of make a middle. I don't want a complete ball of this one, so bring that end out. So there we go. Very uneven middle is what I like to create. Not a okay. And then we'll put some of this up here in this little budding part. Okay, then we'll let that dry. We're going to brighten that up. Don't worry. It's going to brighten up. I'm going to brighten it up, but we're going to keep it dingy, if that makes sense. Because I love painting with muted, muddy, quote unquote, everybody likes to call them muddy colors. They want you to stay away from them. I like them. I like how this is coming together. It's different from this. It's not the same thing. I went with a bluer background. This is a cool black. So it leans toward blue, but I put a lot of the olive green in here. This has more blue in it. But that may change by the time we get to the end. With me, there's no telling. So I'm going to add some of this yellow green and some white. Into this, and I'm going to come down here. I'm just going to make some marks. I'm just making marks. little bit closer to the flower on my mark. We're going to go back over this again with our dark, so if you happen to lighten it up too much, it's okay. We're going to go back around our flower again. Don't worry. Okay. Now, we need to lighten up our leaves. Our leaves that are coming off our flower, we need to get those when they dry. Yeah. So, I'm going to take my yellow, just like we've been doing, mix this in, grab a little bit of white, mix it in. Let's see what we have. Oh, that's a pretty nice, pretty bright color. Let me see what that looks like. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so I'm going to stick with the color I just made, and all I did was add more yellow and white into that olive mix that I've been mixing in this whole time. Okay, get my chisel going, and remember we lay down and flick. So I'm going to lay it down. I hope you guys can see. I'm going to lay down and just flick it up. There we go. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. Lay it down and flick it. No, I don't flick it as competently as I flicked it here. Because I don't want it to go over my flower. But if you do, it's okay. No problem. You can fix it. Just paint over it, okay? And then, because mine are coming from behind, I'm going to start at that petal and flick. And I'm going to be painting my petals again, so it's not an issue if it overlaps a little bit. Okay? And then I'm going to take some of this and go put the stem. So I want the stem one color and the leaves another. So let's just put this just a little bit here and there. Alright. I could make these dry with a hair dryer, but I like piddling with the background while I'm waiting on it to dry. So we're going to go back in a few spots. Now I'm not going to do the whole area like I did a while ago. I'll go back in here, here, maybe here with a really super dark color like we did a while ago. So let's make a cool black. Okay, so I'm going to start with my blue cyan. I'm going to pull my cat orange. And blue and orange are opposite on the color wheel. So they're going to cancel each other out and you're going to get this dark color. That's another good way, easy way to make warm and cool blacks. Use complements. Things you find across from each other on the color wheel. They're going to cancel each other out, and at the end you're going to end up with a warm or a cool color, gray or black. That's another way to do that. So we're going to make this dark color with our complements here, our blue and our orange. And that's pretty good. Hold on, guys. I want to check and see exactly what I have going on here. So what I will do is take some white and add it. And yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay. Let me get this white off the brush. I want it to stay dark. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to go in with this dark color. And pop it in. You see what I'm doing? I am, at this point, just going around my focal point with this dark color to make it pop. Do the outside of it. Not going all the way up here. I'm just keeping it very uniformed at the moment. I'm just darkening up right around my focal area, which will be that main big one. But I'm also going to put it down here in this hole right here by this little one. Right up in here. I'll go around the stem. And maybe right here. I like where these gaps at. Right here. And right here. Darken that up. I'm staying very tight up against this flower at the moment. I'm not branching out. Okay. Alright, there. That's what I'm going to do with that. Can you see how it already made these two flowers stand out from the background? We just laid in a cool black and it made them pop. We're going to work on that middle. Okay. So to work on that middle, we're going to come back over here where our dingy yellow is. We're going to brighten it up just to here for some more yellow and white. Keep it on the dingy side. Keep that raw umber in there, but it doesn't take much. Okay, to my point, and pop it in. There's that one a little bit lighter than that. Let's try this one. That's good. I want it. There we go. I want it to have a little bit of, and I've got to be careful not to let my middle in this flower and this leaf merge and look like one glob. I got to make sure I keep the middle of my flower brighter than that leaf. So that flower may get a little bit brighter of a middle than the top one for that reason. Okay? And then I'll dot that in just a few spots over here just so it's not. I started to put it, let me think. Let's do this. Because we want it to stay, we want the colors to stay together. I don't want to have just like one color in one spot. I want it to, I don't want one color in one spot. I want it to stay uniform. So I'm going to pop this color actually in some other places up here as I'm going. Alright. Very loose, very painterly flower is what we're going for today. You guys, not realistic. We're going to work on that stem again. So I probably work on the stem. I bounce between the background, the stem, and the flower probably 12 times before I'm done with the painting. Okay, so I'll take some of this and put it over here. And then I'm going to lighten up just parts of the stem, not the whole thing. And I have choked up on my brush now because we're getting to where this is not the last pass for the stem, but we're getting to where it could be. I mean, so I'm kind of being a little more careful about where I put things. Okay, and I'm going to darken this. I'm going to darken the stem up a little bit. Black, bikini, black, and some browns. Okay. Now, what we're going to do for the leaf, not leaf, the petal now. I'm going to pull out some white, a lot of white, okay? I'm going to put a dab of raw umber in it to beige it up just a little. Because now we're going to aim for getting some shadow and definition in our little petals, okay? Okay, and I'm not going to, that last twist I done, I'm not going to mix that properly. I don't want it mixed properly. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to put this up against, lay it down, just like that. Don't worry, we're going to go over this. It's not the final petal. Do the same thing here. Okay, now let that dry. Now when we go over it again, where we've laid that brown, we're going to use almost a transparent white so that some of that brown comes through like a shadow. And then if I'm still not happy with it, then I'll use a liner and I'll just make some little marks myself, little shadow marks. Let's see, let's put stuff. I want that to stay kept up, I want that to stay uniform with that. So okay. That's still wet. Now I want to work on a little bit of grass down here somewhere. So I'm going to go in with my green. I'll make my green. There's my yellow. There's my black. It's too much. A little more yellow. white. Alright. I'm going to start pulling in a little bit of grass. Not much, just a little bit. Just a hint that there's grass there. That's it. That's all I'm doing. I'm just hinting that there's grass there. And we're going to make it a little bit darker. With our black or our brown, I just put some brown in it. And I twist and turn my brushes and doing this. I feel like this is a color we might need to bring through the painting. Like that. Good rinse. I'm going to use some clean water now. Because this is what my water looks like after a few rinses of using the green and the black and the dark colors. So I always make sure that I have a clean jug because I need to really give my brush a good rinse in between colors or just get some of the darkness out. Okay. Now my brush is nice and clean. And pull out some white. For the petal, and I'm going to get some matte medium. You can use water if you don't have matte medium. I'm going to thin this white out. I want it kind of transparent. I don't have a transparent white, so I have to make my titanium white transparent. Okay, and we're going to lay down. We're going to just lay down. Bottom, we're going to do the same thing. Get my end right, okay? Lay down, and lay down. It's quite empty. Okay. Right here. Right, and work on that stem. Let's put it up against that right here. I didn't put my petals up quite enough, so the stem in. Some of that whiteness on there. Okay. And I'm going to work on this dark again. So I'm going to go right back to where I had that dark. Blue, orange, just a little more quickly. Get this as dark as I can. I can get some petals and a focal point. I'm trying not to be precious with it because we can go over a stem, you can paint over it. If you go over a petal, you can paint over it, so it's no big deal. Try to do this quickly. Pull a little bit of it down here too. And smear it. And bring it out this way. Smear, smear, smear around this petal, smear it out. Okay, some more. Yeah, I like that. That's nice. Okay. And I don't like grass, so I'm going to fix that. Like grass. I'm going to make me a green that I like. I'm going to keep mixing until I get a green that I like. I'm going to go over this grass because I don't like the little blades of grass. I just have marks. Loose, get some loose white in there. So I'm just kind of dabbing the white in and loosely mixing it. Don't want it mixed all the way. Okay. Alright. I didn't like this lazy grass. Alright. And I'm going to go over that stem again. I pulled some of that cool black we just made to mix with this yellow going on the stem. Okay. Put a little more pressure this time. Narrowing down to the end. Broke it up a little bit more. Okay. Add some white. I'm recording this, you guys, but honestly, I don't know if I'm gonna publish it. I don't know. It's taking a lot longer than I thought to paint this. I may publish it. I don't know. I don't know. You know, when you see it go up, I guess. I'm having such a hard time lately with every thought in my head. I can't. Oh wow. Intrusive thoughts. Maybe I don't want to see you paint. I don't care about what you're doing. You know, those thoughts. And every artist has them. Every person has them. Nobody cares about what you have to say. Nobody wants to see you paint. Nobody's going to want to care about the way you do things. Very, very, I'm having a very hard time right now. Smudge that. I'm actually going to do that with this one. I like the way that looks. And smudge. This way. Smudge the stem. Something like that. Okay. Now we're going to work on our petals. And I'm going to grab a liner because I'm not happy with the way this turned out. So I'm going to grab a little liner, which is this little thing here. Put it in some clean water. Okay. So that it really turns it nice and tiny. Okay, I'm going to go into my raw umber and white. I'm going to make this color. I'm not mixing it thoroughly at all. If you look, I'm just twirling, making swirls. Then I'm going to go into my flower petal. And I still want to remain loose. I know I'm using a tiny brush. I still want to remain loose. I do not want to get detailed and picky with this. So I'm going to just brush and go in a few places and let it do its thing. That's what I'm gonna do. Same thing with this one. Just lower the brush. Dab it a little bit. Shadowy, not like the flower has stripes or dots or anything like that. Okay. And then we'll take our white. Take our white in with our liner, just like that. And come in on areas of the flower. It's super hot in this layer, guys. Okay. Something, and I'm just dabbing. Dab, dab, dab. Probably not. Alright, while we have this liner out, we're going to work on the middle of our flowers. So let me take the sweater off, you guys. I live in the south and it is hot outside, but I have both air conditioners pumping. I feel good, but this light, whoo, this light pumps off some heat. Okay. Where did I put my liner? Alright, here we go. Hold on. It's running from me. Alright, so bring my palette back into focus. Here's the frame. Okay. So we're going to work on this middle, and I'm going to brighten it up. So I think I'm going to put a little orange in there. I didn't want any orange in it to begin with, but with that cool blue background, I think the orange is going to play well there. So we're going to take this, and just bend. I'm not making a complete block of color. I'm dabbing, leaving some of that dirty yellow showing. Okay. Here. Okay. So I'm going to use this liner to tighten up my skin a little bit. Okay. My yellow. Some white in there. Some white. And I'm just dragging it up. I'm holding it by the opposite end of the brush, way at the tip. And I'm just dragging. I'm brighten this out too much because this is the side I want to be my focal point, so I'm going to brighten that in too much. We'll brighten up some of this, some streaks in the leaf. Streaks. Alright, now let's do our movement lines that I talked about. These little squiggly things. Everybody's going to be different. Mine will not be the same from yours. Yours will not be the same from your neighbors. Everybody will be different, okay? Alright, and whatever color you want to do them in, I'm probably going to leave mine in this light green color. I don't know yet. Let me see. Hold on. Alright, so and now, hold your brush. This is how I do it. Hold my brush. And I'm not going to worry about what it looks like. Doesn't like anything at all. I'm just making lines. And give my picture some movement. Give my flower some movement. Just like that. Now I'm trying to decide if I want to go in with another color. I think I'm going to do some white. And I normally wouldn't do this because this is a little grayish on here. I think I'm going to use white. I don't want to do that. Let's see. It looks good. Okay, I'm going to use this white. It's one that I've thinned out a lot with the matte medium. And I'm going to go around. And remember, if you don't have matte medium, you can use just water to make your... You have titanium white. I know a lot of people do. Make your titanium white transparent. Just add some water. Not a heap ton now. Add a bunch, because I know somebody's going to say, what about underbody? Well, no, we're just playing, so I won't worry about it too much. Alright. And I think what I'm going to do my flower is I'm going to some more petals. These petals are letting me work in it. I don't know. It's just me. With the picture overall. I like it. It's fun. But I'm not happy with these petals for some reason. I don't know what And fiddling with them is not going to help anything. I know that, so I don't know why I'm doing it. Okay. And that is my snowdrop flower, you guys. I hope you have fun if you painted along with me. If you watched it and you'll go back later and paint it, let me know how it turns out in the comments. Or if you just enjoyed sitting, relaxing, watching somebody paint, let me know how that turned out. Hope you guys have a great, wonderful day. This made me feel a lot better, finally getting a video that I can put out. So I'm having a really hard time, you guys. Anyway, again, I hope you guys have a great, wonderful day, and I'll see you later. Bye.